Good afternoon, Yorktown. This is Town Supervisor Matt Slater providing another update regarding the ongoing coronavirus issues here in Yorktown. I'm joined today by Yorktown Town Justice Sal Lagonia, by Police Chief Bob Noble. We also have with us Sergio Esposito, President of the Yorktown Chamber, and Vlad Brader, say it right? Brader, of Sunshine Starts, one of our local daycare facilities. They're spread out around the room because we are trying to not only practice but show social distancing. Right now, it's from all the reports that we've seen today, we continue with an upward trajectory both statewide and in Westchester County. We continue our pledge to provide verified and accurate information to you, the public. I spoke with our school superintendents earlier today, and they are continuing, as stated earlier, currently to be closed Monday and Tuesday for Yorktown and Lakeland, Ossining also Monday and Tuesday. Tomorrow, we are expecting Westchester County to declare an emergency. We believe County Executive Latimer will be doing that. That may have an extended impact on our schools, and so we await the declaration, the emergency declaration, in greater detail in that fashion. I have been in touch with the County Executive's office many times. We continue to discuss about process. As I've said many times, town government does not administer the tests. We are not administering those tests. We do not schedule those tests. If you want to be tested for COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus, we urge you to call the state hotline, 888-364-3065. Again, that's 888-364-3065. Right now, there's a mobile testing site in New Rochelle at Glen Island. I have spoken with the county executive about the need for additional testing sites, specifically here in northern Westchester. But right now, we are waiting for tomorrow and the declaration, the emergency declaration, and greater direction and detail from the county. I do also want to thank County Executive Latimer for his help in that information barrier that we were able to overcome together. And we have signed the NDA that will establish a secure portal for both myself and Chief Noble. We signed that over the weekend and turned that in, and we are anxiously awaiting that portal to come online to provide us more information as it pertains to our community. Earlier today, Governor Cuomo provided some additional announcements. He is urging voluntary closures of businesses. He's urging, as we have here in Yorktown, social distancing. And to his point, and I agree with him, we need to be prepared. We need to plan for, frankly, these conditions to be extended not just for a few days, but potentially for a few weeks. The town of Yorktown remains in a state of emergency, and as I explained when we declared that emergency, one of the main reasons for doing that is to allow town government to take action immediately when that arises and the need arises. We have already issued one emergency order, and I'm going to quickly read through those and remind folks what those are. The first is that all owners and managers of residential buildings within the town of Yorktown that have more than 6 dwelling units, all homeowner associations within the town of Yorktown, all condominium and co-op boards within the town of Yorktown shall provide the town of Yorktown with reliable emergency contact information that will allow the town to communicate effectively with the owners, managers, associations, and boards. We issued this yesterday. Also yesterday, we suspended all commercial solicitation, door-to-door commercial solicitation, so you should not be receiving anyone knocking on your door selling you anything in the town of Yorktown. That is suspended. I also want to mention that the political process here in town continues, at least I believe until Tuesday, for the petition process for candidates who are seeking ballot access. The governor did issue an executive order that significantly reduces the requirements to ensure our candidates are able to manage the petition process along with our current climate. So you may see a door knocking from a candidate or a candidate operation, but for sales, commercial sales, an individual selling things, that is suspended in the town of Yorktown. In addition, all entities that provide home health aid services with the town of Yorktown shall ensure that their home health aides are screened for warning signs of COVID-19 and cleared before beginning any new assignment of home health care within the town of Yorktown for senior citizens and individuals with respiratory ailments or compromised immunities. I said it yesterday, and I want to reemphasize that I do have grave concerns for our senior community. We are keeping a very close eye on our seniors. The governor did issue an order pertaining to nursing homes and rehabilitation centers that prohibits outside visitors. The town of Yorktown agrees with that order, and we are recommending and urging that those parameters within that order be applied to places like Beaver Ridge and Wynwood Oaks, because they currently do not fall under the governor's mandate. Today, we are issuing an additional set of emergency orders. First and foremost, access to all town-owned buildings other than the Yorktown Police Department and the Yorktown Justice Court is restricted to town employees only. We will no longer be open to the public. If someone needs our services, we have all intentions of having town government operate. If someone does need services, we encourage you to call or email your respective departments. Their information is on our website, as well as I believe there are departments providing additional information if need be. We are intending to keep government here in Yorktown operational and open, but we are restricting access to our town buildings to the public for the time being. In addition, no more than 2 individuals, and this is specifically for the police department and the justice court. No more than 2 individuals at a time may occupy the lobby of the Yorktown Police Department headquarters. No more than 1 party at a time may occupy the lobby of the Yorktown Justice Court. We're trying to minimize public interaction and crowding at both facilities. The town's building maintenance director shall forthwith purchase and install a secure drop box outside of Town Hall for the public to utilize. Again, since the public is being restricted from accessing Town Hall. The drop box shall be emptied once every business day at 9 a.m. In the town's discretion, documents received by the town via the drop box by 9 a.m. may be deemed received by the town on the previous business day. In addition, town employees that have been identified by the town department heads and approved by the supervisor may work remotely for town employees. And lastly, and again, Mr. Brader's here to speak on behalf of one of our daycare centers. Just like we have with our seniors, we have grave concern regarding our daycare centers. So we are establishing the following. All child care facilities in the town of Yorktown shall establish staggered pickup and drop-off times in a fashion designed to reduce crowding in entrances and hallways by at least 50%. There are some daycare centers who are suspending their operation, some are not. I think that there's been several recommendations from the governor and elsewhere, but for those who want to remain open and provide those services for our first responders, for medical professionals who continue to be on the front line, we are asking that they adhere to the staggered drop off and pickup. And with that being said, we continue to be committed to providing verified and accurate information to the public. I know there are a lot of rumors. We are trying our best to decipher between fact and rumor. We don't take anything lightly. We continue to work with all of our partners in government, from the federal government, state, county, here locally, of course, and Judge Lagoni is going to come and speak about some of the changes that you're going to see at the courthouse, the operational changes you're going to see at the courthouse. And of course, our first responders and Chief Noble, thank you, and and your force for the great job they continue to do to protect our families. But we will continue to provide these updates as information becomes available and action is taken. Again, we do expect the county to declare an emergency tomorrow morning. We are waiting for the details of what that will state and the impact that will have both here governmentally, also for our schools. And so I do anticipate being back before the town of Yorktown in this or a similar mode, whether just on Facebook or also on the Access channel. But we do have all intentions to continue to share information, like I said, as it becomes verified to the public. And with that being said, I'm going to ask Judge Lagonia to come to the podium and provide an operational update for the town courthouse. Judge?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you for all your help. I think we've been on speed dial for the last week or so. The court has made and established certain protocols to try to limit the exposure in the courtroom and still protect the due process rights of defendants. And so we have come up with some common sense ideas, and these are going to be in the form of an order, always subject to change, whether we hear from the Office of Court Administration or whether change in the actual facts of the risk. Established immediately, all vehicle and traffic cases that are returnable in the month of March are adjourned. People with cases in March will receive a new date by mail. You don't need to contact the court at all. That will come by mail shortly. All our criminal cases are being triaged so that the cases that do have due process time limits will be adjourned. The cases that do have the limits will continue. However, we'll continue them on a smaller basis so that we have less people in the courtroom during those cases. Routine court business during the non-court hours will be continuing, but as the supervisor said, only one transaction at a time is going to be allowed in the lobby area. That by one transaction, we mean if there's more than one party to that transaction, they can both be there. All our March jury and non-jury trials are adjourned. We have canceled the juries. Contact your attorney if you have such a case in the court for March only at this point. All March civil cases and landlord and tenant cases are hereby adjourned, and they will be adjourned at least into April, and again, by mail, you will get a new date on both of those cases. If you have questions, contact my staff at 914-962-6216. They will all are being briefed on this protocol. They'll be able to answer whatever questions you have, or if you have counsel, legal counsel, contact your legal counsel who probably already has been notified. We have a small portal among the legal counsel that regularly utilizes our court, and we are constantly keeping them in touch with what's going on. This is a fluid situation. It's subject to change as further orders come down. We're hoping not too much more changes are going to be necessary. However, as that happens, we'll notify the public in the best means possible. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, Judge. He won't say it because he's entirely too humble, but my understanding is that the decisions put forth by our court are being deemed a model for other courts, not just in Westchester, but beyond. And of course, Judge Lagonia and Judge Raniolo continue to be trailblazers in many aspects from the judicial process, and we appreciate your leadership, both of you. Next, I want to invite up Vlad Brader of Sunshine Starts, which is one of our daycare facilities located behind the Triangle Shopping Center, to inform us on what his operation is doing moving forward. Vlad, to the podium.
Thank you. So I'm happy to tell you, everyone, what we're doing, the changes we're making. It's our intention for now, obviously always subject to change, to stay open. Primarily that's being driven by two factors. One, those of our families and in the community who are first responders or nurses, doctors, healthcare workers. Obviously, they can't do what they need to do to keep us all as safe as possible if they have to be home watching their kids. And then two, those of our families that don't have any other options, or their only other option is an elderly individual or an immunocompromised individual. We want them to have to be able to use our services so that they're not putting folks who are at the highest risk in our community in greater danger. So obviously that is subject to change. The governor urged businesses to close. Should that be mandated, we obviously will. Having said that, we're urging all our families that if they at all can keep their kids at home, they should. Not only is that better for the family, for the broader household, but it lets us sort of dedicate our efforts and resources in providing childcare for, again, those first responders, the healthcare workers, and for families whose other option would be to put high-risk individuals in harm's way. In trying to stay open, there are a couple of changes we're making to sort of minimize the risk as much as possible. One, we're cutting back our hours. Normally open from 6:30 to 6:30. We're going to cut those back by an hour on either end. We've divided our staff into two teams, A and B. Only one team will be in the building at any given time. That way, it cuts the number of individuals in the building by half. That staff that's in the building was going to work a full shift from opening to closing and they're going to stay in one room to, again, minimize the number of people that children come in contact with. You heard the supervisor make an order to have staggered pickup and drop-offs. Where we're going a little bit beyond that, we're going to have curbside pickup and drop-offs so that folks, parents aren't even coming into the building. We have staff coming out, the staff that's in that room coming out to pick up the kids. Same thing on drop-off. That will also be staggered. We don't want a long line, people waiting for an hour or so. So that's another thing we're doing. And we're asking all our families, our families or any other daycare, if your daycare is trying to stay open and you have the option of keeping your child at home, if you have that flexibility, you absolutely should. That's all the recommendations we're hearing. Also realize that your child care provider is under an immense amount of stress if they're trying to stay open and strained to provide services. And again, to the extent that you can keep your child at home, that potentially opens up a spot for a doctor or a nurse or a fireman or a police officer who needs to be out doing their job to keep us all safe and healthy. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vlad. A few other, before I bring up Sergio Esposito, the president of our chamber, to talk about some issues regarding the business community. I did want to commend, we had several of our religious institutions this Sunday. I know that my family participated in our first online church service this morning, which was great to see. And I want to thank our religious leaders for their commitment to providing that avenue for our community. And I understand that there's going to be more plans in that direction for several of our congregations. And so something for everyone to look for via Facebook, and there's a few other social media outlets that were being utilized. As I said before, just because we are encouraging social distancing, we're not embracing social isolation. So in that sense, we want to encourage our neighbors to keep an eye on our neighbors and those our seniors and those who do have needs in the community that need to be met. We are, like I said, that's why I want to keep government open and operational right now to make sure we are meeting the needs of those who need us most. And so if we can rely on you, as the chief always says, what do you say, Chief?
Help us, help you.
Help us, help you. Good. Help us, help you. And by doing that, by helping us check on your neighbors, folks you know may need a helping hand. And feel free to give us a call here at Town Hall, 914-962-5722, extension 200 is my direct line, 914-962-5722, extension 200. And I try my best to man the desk. If you don't get me, you might get my great assistant, Jennifer Castro, but we do our best to answer every phone call and email. And I do answer emails, mslater@yorktownny.org. Again, mslater@yorktownny.org. Lastly, one thing I do want to encourage folks to do, again, since we're practicing social distancing, we have 40 miles of nature trails in Yorktown. I don't know if people really know that. 40 miles. And while cabin fever might settle in for some people, if you're looking for a safe activity, I do want to give a special recognition to Walt and Jane Daniels for their great work maintaining our trails. And my family was out today hiking Turkey Mountain, and quite frankly, there were quite a few families who had the same idea. But so if you're looking for something outdoors, something fun, something safe, hiking is on that list of frankly approved activities. And so Yorktown is a great place for that. Again, 40 miles of nature trails, and you can hop on the Yorktown Town website, and we have links to the maps that you can utilize right in your own backyard. And so having said that, I want to also invite up Sergio Esposito, President of the Yorktown Chamber, to provide an update for our business community. Sergio.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Thank you to Judge Lagonia for the changes you've made. Although they may seem as if you are restricting people from coming into the building, it's actually to keep the government running and open, because if the staff gets sick, then there's no staff for the government to be running. So I commend your efforts in that vein. That being said, I wanted to speak about a legislative package that was passed by the House recently. It's called H.R. 601. It's also known as the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. And it provides assistance for both individuals and institutions. And it's going to tie in to the schools that Vlad was speaking about as well, because there is some assistance for families that are impacted in maybe not directly, possibly indirectly, with the coronavirus. And this will certainly help the business community as well. So briefly, what it provides is free COVID-19 testing. Now, as the supervisor pointed out, you have to be, recommended by your doctor. You can't just walk in and get tested or anything like that. So you have to always go to your doctor first. But it will be free testing once it passes through the Senate. There's $500 million for the Special Supplemental Nutritional Program, and that's going to go toward both women and children. They are providing $400 million to the existing Emergency Food Assistance Program. So this way people could eat and still survive. For businesses, the main reason why I'm here, they are providing $5 million, and businesses will be reimbursed via a tax write-off. And how it works is they will have the ability to provide 2 weeks of paid sick leave for people who are in quarantine, have been diagnosed, or with the virus, and even to those impacted by school closings that have to stay home to watch their children. So if you're a parent and you have no one to watch them, and the school's closed, there will be some relief through your business connection where you work. This legislative package is moving to the Senate for approval, and then to the President. And all indications look like, as it stands, it's probably gonna move quickly and get passed quickly from what I've been seeing. I did want to speak about Yorktown, the business community. The business community is still very important that we support them with the social distancing practices. It is relatively safe. I've said this time and time again, to go out shopping. Tomorrow is actually Hudson Valley Restaurant Week. It was not canceled. It is on. And so if you want to get a list, you can look it up online. Restaurants now can only allow half their capacity. So if they had a capacity of 50 people, they would only be able to allow 25 people in at any one given time. And that's in order to provide the whole social distancing model. So it is relatively safe. I've been to restaurants. I've also been out today. I was up by Bear Mountain. I had to go check on my mother-in-law. And there were people out all over the place enjoying the fresh air. So that's absolutely great advice from our supervisor once again. So support our businesses. Practice, wash your hands. Practice your social distancing practices. And please get out there and enjoy. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergio. And thank you to all of our small businesses who continue to operate during such a difficult time. We here in Yorktown obviously support our small businesses, and I know that many of us will take advantage of the great services. I do also want to give a special shout out to the Chicos in Jefferson Valley. They're providing a fantastic service for our seniors If you are a senior, DeChico's is willing to shop and deliver one bag of groceries with a value of greater than $30 for tomorrow and Tuesday. You have to call, and I don't have that number on me right now, but if you call DeChico's for only the Yorktown seniors, they will provide one bag of groceries for, Tom, you got the number? 245-1262 for DeChico's, 245-1262. This only applies to Yorktown seniors, and I want to give a very special acknowledgement to Noreen O'Driscoll, who runs our senior nutrition program. She was able to coordinate this with the DeChico family. This only applies to our seniors. It's one bag of a value of more than $30. They will pack it and deliver it straight to your home. Chief, I know you wanted to say a few words. You want to take the podium?
Thank you, Supervisor, and a good Sunday afternoon to everybody out there who's watching this. I just wanted to speak a little bit about what the Yorktown Police, how we're attempting to protect ourselves from contracting this COVID-19. And I need to thank our residents' cooperation and our business owners' cooperation in supporting these efforts. For the better part of a month, we've been screening over the phone, and more recently, all of my officers have been asking pre-screening questions regarding possible exposures to COVID-19 before speaking with people on the phone and redirecting those calls to other first responders, as well as meeting up with people who need our services. What we are doing now, in the more recent days, is now we're almost trying to handle past incidents, if possible, over the phone and limit our social, support the social distancing and limit our social interactions. It flies in the face in what I've been trying to do since I've been in chief in 2016, and that's having my guys and my officers, like I said, are the backbone of this community, mix it up and speak with people out there in the public. Now we're retreating from that, and it's for good cause. You'll see a heavy presence. We'll have a visible presence in town. We'll keep this town safe, and we're going to try to keep it healthy, as we always do. But what the supervisor had mentioned, one party of two, or two individuals, are all that we're going to allow in our lobby in police headquarters. We're trying to limit, like I said, our exposure out there in the community so that we can, day in and day out, be there 24/7 for the people in Yorktown. I did post a Facebook post before coming to speak here with the supervisor. And while this town government cable channel is excellent, you have a Town of Yorktown Facebook page that the supervisor is doing a very good job of keeping people updated. And we'll do our best in Yorktown PD. But for us, it's quite simple. We're trying to, part of helping us help you is understanding that we're not hiding from our responsibilities at Yorktown PD. We're trying to protect all of my first responders that are in the building so that they can go out there and respond to calls for service, and also relay necessary information to our VACs and our fire departments that are the front lines in trying to help people who are in need. So again, Supervisor, I'd like to thank you for your proactiveness and what we've been doing here for the past few weeks. And if I need to be here tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow. So again, stay calm, be smart, and stay safe. And if you need us, you call us.
Thank you, Chief. And again, to your partnership, just tremendous. I really can't thank you enough. We're on the phone hourly, unless we're sleeping, which hasn't been much. But truly, thank you. I genuinely appreciate it. So just to recap, second emergency order from the Town of Yorktown. We're going to be restricting public access to our town buildings. We are going to be limiting the number of individuals to the Yorktown Police Department, as the Chief had just said, as well as to the Yorktown Courthouse, which Judge Lagonia laid out earlier. There's also going to be a modified court schedule, which Judge Lagonia laid out as well. We will be having employees begin transitioning to working remotely, and to our child care facilities and our daycare facilities who do continue to operate, we are establishing staggered pickup and drop-off times to reduce crowding and entrances in hallways. Again, we do expect the county, Westchester County, to be declaring an emergency at some point tomorrow morning. We will see what the details of that emergency declaration dictate moving forward. So as you can tell, again, I said it before, it's very fluid. This information is coming fast and furious, and we will continue to share it with you as it's verified and ensure that it's accurate. And finally, again, to all of our first responders and to our medical professionals, our nurses, our doctors, folks on the front line, keep up the work. We have your back. We can't thank you enough. And to everyone at home, just stay safe, stay healthy, be smart, wash those hands, and we will be back as soon as we can with more information. Thank you very much.